Y'all would not believe what just happened at the doctor's office with my grandson. Took him in because he's been having problems with his knee. He plays basketball. He's 6'5", 200 something pounds. I already knew what was wrong with him, but just to satisfy his worry, I took him to the doctor. He hasn't been to the doctor for a while. We don't go to the doctor unless we need to. But things didn't start out right from the beginning from the women at the reception. But when we got back to the doctor's office and the nurse comes in, of course I ask you about shots and all this other kind of garbage. He's up to date on his shots. I showed him his shot records. I said, I prefer that we not talk about vaccinations because we're not here for that today and we're not going to be doing that today. She said, okay. So she leaves, gets info, whatever they do. And the doctor comes in and the first thing that he does is start in about shots. He wants to give him four shots. He's 17 years old. For, I can't remember exactly which shots they were. They're on a piece of paper, but, part of his reasoning was all these immigrants bringing these new diseases in and blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, I'm not concerned about that. We live in fucking Egypt. There's only 2,000 people in our town. We got one Mexican restaurant here. That's not a concern. That's not a worry. I said, no, we're not here for shots. He's not getting any shots today. That sent this dude over the edge. It then became all about the shots. I said, I kept telling him, I don't want to get into this conversation. This is not why we're here. And he continues to go on. And he said, well, what part of the shots do you have a problem with? I said, I have a problem with all of the shots right now because of what they're putting in the shots, what they've been putting in the shots. And I said, until there's some safety, some efficacy, some trial, anything, we're not going to do the shots. Oh my God. This guy went on a tirade. This is actually my first encounter with someone that has, I guess you would call it TDS, liberal meltdown. I don't know what you would call it. He called me a left-wing conspiracy theorist. He told me I was brainwashed. He told me I didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm like, he told me to get off the internet. And I was like, dude, I've been in this game for a long time. I'm not from bumfuck Egypt, southeast Missouri, in the middle of cornfields. I worked in the high-tech industry my whole adult life. I worked in nanotechnology. I've met the President of the United States. Don't try to demean me or make me look stupid here. And he was doing this in front. He actually waited until we got out of the room into the hallway, and he stood in front of me. And I couldn't go anywhere because I took my handicapped sister with me. She has cerebral palsy, and I had my grandson with me. And he stood there with his arms crossed. He started going on about how the white man brought diseases to the indigenous natives here. He asked me if I wanted my grandson to die. He then went and told my grandson that he was going to get penis cancer. I'm standing there speaking these words out loud. I can't believe this is happening right now. What is going on? I have nothing to say. I have nothing to discuss with you. And I turned my head, and all you can see were like this little row of nurses' heads peeking around the wall, looking at what's going on. And this fucking fucker, gayer than a $3 fucking bill. I hate my whiteness because I'm a white male attitude, going on. And I said, dude, I'm done with you. We're leaving. I'm not going to stand here and have this whatever with you. So I'm trying to walk away, and he grabs my grandson, and he's trying to convince him to get these shots, that it's okay, whenever you decide you can come back. And I said, dude, he's a minor. Get your hands off of him. Stop talking to him, or I'm going to sue you. This has been my first encounter, because like I said, I live in southeast Missouri, in the middle of cornfields, a population maybe of 2,000. Every 90% of the people that live here are conservative. We stick to ourselves. We don't bother. No, we help each other out. It's a good community. It's when you have to leave and go out in the real world where shit is fucking crazy. Crazy. I see this stuff on Twitter, YouTube, X, all the time, of people being in these types of situations. And things kept rolling. I have a bad mouth. I'm Italian. We have a tendency to say what pops through our mind. But I had to really keep myself composed today, because I get myself in a lot of trouble sometimes. The only thing that I could think of is asking him if he had his monkeypox vaccine. Dude, did you get your AIDS vaccine? You're probably more of a threat than my 17-year-old grandson that just wants to play basketball, whose knee's hurting. What the fuck is wrong with these people? For real. And then I had all this shit rolling through my head, and it was so good. And then it just popped. And I looked at him. I said, you're a Harris voter, aren't you? Oh my God. You just seen his face. He just stood there with his arms crossed. He didn't have nothing else to say. And I'm looking back at all these little heads poking around the wall. And I'm just like, fuck this shit. We're out of here. We are out. We're not. And he told me to never bring him back to that clinic, which he's gone to since he was a baby, until I get him all of these shots. And I am just sitting here, well, I guess it happened to me. It happened to me today. And these people are really crazy. They're really unhinged. Everything you see on the internet is true. They're fucking wackadoodle. And now we're looking for another doctor. And since this doctor, oh, this is the good part. When he came in, he said, can I record, since I don't like, trying to remember all this stuff later? And I said, yeah, that's cool. That was before everything got crazy. I'm really hoping all of that was recorded, because I am going to be requesting it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I am going to be requesting it, because he made sure that he did this in front of other patients and in front of all of the nurses, trying to browbeat, bully, humiliate, tell me I'm stupid, all kinds of stuff. And I'm just, part of me was absolutely dumbfounded, because I've never been in the presence of one of these people before. In real life, I see it on the internet all the time, but it's really hard to wrap your brain around what the fucking fuck is wrong with these people. Seriously, what is wrong with them? It's insane. We need to get a grip on this insanity, this craziness. And what's really scary to me is these are the people that are in charge. And they're fucking psychopaths. And they give no shits about your beliefs, your proof. Even though every time he asked me a question, I would give him facts. And it didn't matter if the facts had to do with scientific studies. It didn't matter if the facts had to do with judicial hearings. None of that mattered to him. None of it mattered. All that mattered was what was floating around in his little mentally fucking, I don't know. I'm still, I'm wound up still. I'm super wound. And I'm super pissed off. And it was probably a good thing I had my little sister with me today, because shit might have popped off. They're pushing people to the point, and people like me that have a short fuse anyway, you know, something's going to happen one of these days, and it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. You can't do this to people. I don't go in the fucking store or anywhere. You're this, you're that, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. I don't get up in people's faces and do that shit. Because I have common sense. I have dignity. I have mental clarity. I don't know what the fuck I have that makes me different than these people. They don't care. They're unhinged. They ag this shit on. They want a confrontation. They want to fight. When it's completely fucking unnecessary. And you don't want to push people like me into that situation. You're going to end up fucked up. In one way or the other. I hope he has those recordings. I hope I can get those recordings. Because when I do, they're going to be posted on social media and they're going to be given to an attorney. This shit has to stop.